Nicki Minaj has invested money and promoted. That performance she did with Beyonce was promotion. Nicki did that for free on her behalf.
No man would ever abuse me, call me out my name, treat me like that. And then all of a sudden, that was my life.
All right, pull up a chair. We need to talk about the crash.
But Nicki was tweeting a lot. One was denying a young black man what he rightfully put into this game for no other reason. But
apparently Nicki Minaj has dragged Jay-Z to filth. She blasts him for being evil and spiteful.
Not a stock market crash, not a crypto crash, something far more spectacular and infinitely more personal. We are witnessing in real time the catastrophic slow motion detonation of an empire.
Ocho, Nicki Minaj and other artists have seemingly called out Jay-Z, who's the co-producer of
the self-immolation of a queen who once ruled the rap game with an iron fist and a neon wig. This is the story of Nicki Minaj. And this is the story of the two people who just sent her a message so devastating, so perfectly calibrated, it may well be the final nail in the coffin of a legacy that's currently burning to the ground. We're talking about a chess match where one player is flipping the board, screaming at the pieces, while the other two, they're not even in the same room. They're on a private island sipping champagne, and they just moved a pawn that checkmated the entire game. This is about Jay-Z and Beyoncé. And if you want to understand how the most powerful couple in music just executed the most brutal power play in modern hip-hop history, you need to see how they weaponized silence, how they used a birthday party as a tactical strike, and how in doing so, they exposed the fundamental unbridgeable chasm between the winners and losers of this entire embarrassing spectacle. Let's break it down.
But under no circumstances am I gonna be quiet when you talking about him like that, Nicki Minaj. What the hell was that?
And like I said yesterday, this beef is not with Jay-Z and Cardi B, it's with Beyonce. Because we're going to get to you in a minute. And now is not the time to be relaxing. And I understand you are retired, but you got to get on your Zoom. Now, shout out to Monty, because I saw your tweet before we got into the next series of tweets.
Picture the scene. It's 3 a.m. The blue light of a phone screen illuminates a face twisted in rage. Fingers fly across the keyboard. Another MTBTF, another rant, a torrent of words. Incoherent, venomous, desperate. This is Nicki Minaj's world now. A self-created hellscape of conspiracy theories, blame shifting, and scorched earth attacks. She's fed up, but who with? The usual suspects? Rival rappers? Number. She's set her sights higher, much higher. She's declared war on Mount Olympus itself. She's pointing a shaking finger at Jay-Z and Beyoncé, the king and queen of the music industry, and she's screaming into the void about Rock Nation, about her catalog, about money she claims she's not making. It's one of the weirdest, most nonsensical beefs we've ever seen. She's blaming Jay-Z for failures that, if you follow the money, lead right back to her own camp, to Lil Wayne and Birdman. She's admitting on a live stream that she's making next to nothing off her own tour, a stunning self-inflicted wound. And in her desperation, she's reached for the most shameful play in the book, trying to reignite a dead fire. She's trying to bring back Jay-Z versus Nas. Let that sink in. She's digging up a beef that—
Did I lie? Did I not tell you them crackers was not finna get Jay-Z no damn casino in New York City? Did I not tell y'all that? This man done would have took a loan against his house because they wouldn't even give him a loan to go and put a bid in on the casino because he had the owner of Caesar's Palace and then he had an ex-federal informant and mob ties down there trying to put a bid on a casino to bring it to Broadway.
Today, Wednesday, a state board rejected the Times Square casino bid from Jay-Z in Rock Nation and those companies that I mentioned.
that was buried and mourned over 2 decades ago. A conflict that ended not with a body bag, but with a handshake, a shared stage, and a mutual respect that helped elevate the entire culture. She's trying to pour gasoline on ashes, hoping for a spark, any spark, to validate her rage. It's not just pathetic, it's archaeological. It's like trying to restart the Civil War because you're mad about your property taxes. This is the level of the crash out. This is the rabbit hole. And from the outside, looking in, it's a mess. A disgusting, embarrassing train wreck of a mess. But from the boardrooms of the truly powerful, it's just noise. And they have a plan for dealing with noise. Now rewind to August. Nicki had already launched her first major salvo against Hov in July, a rambling, incoherent tirade that was less a diss and more a psychiatric episode set to music. The industry held its breath. How would Jay-Z respond? A clapback track, a lawsuit, a cryptic Instagram post? He did nothing. At least that's what it looked like on the surface. But Jay-Z doesn't operate on the surface. He operates in the shadows, moving pieces on a board only he can see. And his response was a masterpiece of tactical indirection. He quietly cleared a sample, not just any sample. The iconic sample from his 1997 classic Imaginary Player. And who did he clear it for? Cardi B. For the second single, Am I the Drama, off her album of the same name.
I feel like I've been in a lot of drama.
You're extra, you're loud, you're unapologetic.
Well, thank you.
Nicki Minaj versus Cardi B. Two rap queens back at war, hurling insults over lyrics, album sales, Cardi's babies, some barbecue ribs, even Barney the dinosaur.
This sounds exciting.
Let's be crystal clear about what this meant. This wasn't a random business decision. This was a calculated, cold-blooded power move. He gave Cardi B, Nicki's arch nemesis, the woman who had already drawn blood in their feud, the keys to his kingdom. He gave her his beat, his flow, his subject matter, his entire aura. He anointed her as the heir to a throne that Nicki desperately believes is hers. Impeccable. It landed right in the middle of Nicki's meltdown. While Nicki was screaming into the void, Jay-Z was quietly arming her greatest rival with a weapon forged in the fires of his own legacy. Cardi B would later say the clearance happened before the recent beef intensified. But that's the genius of it. Jay-Z is always 3 steps ahead. He already knew the landscape. He knew the players. He knew that giving Cardi that track was the equivalent of handing a sniper rifle to his ally and pointing her in the direction of the enemy camp. It was a message delivered not with a shout, but with a whisper. I don't even need to address you. I will simply empower those who do. This is a fundamental law of power. Never interrupt your enemy when they are making a mistake. And never, ever grant them the dignity of a direct response. Acknowledge their words, and you validate their existence. Ignore them, and you render them irrelevant. But empower their enemy, that's how you break a spirit. But that was just the opening move, the warning shot. What came next, in the very heart of this never-ending crash out, was the checkmate. While Nicki Minaj was between MTBTFs, probably refreshing her timeline, her fingers poised to type another furious paragraph, Jay-Z and Beyoncé cleansed the timeline. They didn't post a diss track, they didn't post a statement, they didn't even post a subliminal shade. They posted pictures from a birthday party, not just any birthday party. The 100th birthday celebration for Jay-Z's grandmother, a century of life, an incredible, beautiful, monumental milestone. And the pictures, they were devastating. There they were, Jay-Z and Beyoncé smiling, laughing, surrounded by family and friends. And who was there, providing the soundtrack to this celebration of life and legacy? None other than the legendary Stevie Wonder playing Songs in the Key of Life. Let's break this down like a crime scene, because that's what it was. This was a psychological operation of the highest order. The crime scene analysis, the setting, a 100th birthday party. The symbolism is overwhelming. This is about legacy, family, endurance, and a life well lived. It's the absolute antithesis of the chaotic, self-destructive, present tense rage Nicki is peddling. The subjects, a happy, united, powerful couple. They are the picture of success and sanity. They are not fighting. They are not scrambling. They are celebrating. The soundtrack, Stevie Wonder, a universally beloved icon representing musical genius and timeless joy. This isn't the sound of beef. This is the sound of soul. Now put yourself in Nicki Minaj's shoes. You've spent weeks, months, trying to bait these people. You've thrown every insult, every accusation, every piece of mud you could find. You've tried to smear their names, question their power, and drag them into your mud pit. And their response is to post a picture of themselves smiling with Stevie Wonder at a centenarian's birthday party. The message is clear and it is brutal. You are not a part of our story. You are not a threat. You are not even a distraction. You are nothing. While you are in your digital hell, we are here in paradise, living the life you can only dream of. This is the core of the winner versus loser dynamic. It has nothing to do with record sales or chart positions in this moment. It has everything to do with conduct. It's about how you present your soul to the world. Nicki is presenting a festering wound. Jay and Bey are presenting a masterpiece of a life. And for people like Nicki and her compatriot in misery, Drake, this is the ultimate trigger. Seeing a happy, functional, successful family unit is kryptonite. It highlights the very thing they lack, the void their fame and fortune can never fill. They thrive on chaos because it's the only environment they understand. Peace, happiness, and stability are foreign concepts, and therefore they are perceived as threats. What we're seeing here is the culmination of a philosophy. Jay-Z and Beyoncé aren't just musicians. They are moguls who operate at the level of statesmanship. They understand that in the limelight, your greatest weapon is your professionalism. While the Young Money Crash Out crew, Drake, Nicki, and to an extent Wayne, are constantly embroiled in public meltdowns, displaying what can only be described as a nastier and more rotten side of fame, Jay and Bey move with the calculated precision of a grandmaster. Think about it. Jay-Z, the first artist to bridge the gap between hip-hop authenticity and the highest echelons of corporate power. The man who redefined what a Super Bowl halftime show could be, who sits in boardrooms with NFL owners. To try and discredit him, as Nicki has, is not just foolish, it's a fundamental misreading of the game. He didn't sell out, he bought the entire operation and rewrote the rules. And this professionalism extends beyond business. It's personal. They've made entire albums, 444, Lemonade, even Beyonce's Renaissance, that are about growth, accountability, healing, and the dark side of the industry. They've publicly worked through their struggles and emerged stronger. They are case studies in maturity. Contrast that with Nicki's rants and Drake's perpetual victimhood. There's a reason why Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was such a critical blow in his war with Drake. It was the sound of maturity eviscerating adolescence. And that same dynamic is playing out here. Jay and Bey are the embodiment of the lessons Kendrick was teaching. They have done the work on themselves. They have gone home and enjoyed the personal lives their hard work built. Nicki, Drake, and their ilk are products of the worst parts of fame and stardom. They are rotten individuals who, after decades of bad choices, have reached a point of such profound internal failure that their only recourse is to make everyone else as miserable as they are. They need a scapegoat. And they've chosen the two people who are most immune to their toxicity. So, where does this leave us? With one of the clearest demarcations of power we have ever seen. For Cardi B, this beef will likely continue on a musical level. Diss tracks will fly. There will be a direct lyrical confrontation. That's a fight between peers. But for Nicki Minaj's obsession with Jay-Z and Beyoncé, it's over. It was over before it began. They will never, ever give her the direct acknowledgement she so desperately craves. To do so would be to descend to her level, to validate her existence in their narrative. Their response, the birthday party, the smiles, the Stevie Wonder is the final word. It is the ultimate power move. It says, "We have heard your screams, and they have become the background music to our bliss." They are not just protecting their peace, they are using their peace as a weapon. And for an attention-addicted crash-out artist, there is no greater punishment than being ignored by the very people you're trying to provoke. It's showing that you are not significant enough to warrant a response, that your legacy in the grand scheme is being erased and forgotten, while theirs is being celebrated with century-old cake and the music of legends. The winners are at a birthday party. The loser is in a digital ditch, screaming at the shadows they cast. The revolution in hip-hop isn't just about sound, it's about sanity, and the lines have never been more clearly drawn. This has been the breakdown. The crash is complete. The message has been received.